Hey everybody, this is EternallyPrussian's Warframe here. Now today, as you saw by Darvo, if you have been on lately, on sale they have the Stalker set. I refer to this as the other stealth set because all three of these weapons are pretty much their own version of the stealth set. Minus, of course, this the hate is a big scythe and, well, the frisbee is a frisbee. So with that aside, I'm going to be reviewing the Dread, the Despair, and the Hate with my friggin' awesome Stalker Ash look. And just so you know, I had Stalker Ash before it was cool. Sorry, I think I vomited in my mouth a little from trying to be a hipster. Anyway, now that we know that that's not for me, I think I should move on and show off just what this thing does. My Ash is designed to be a speed demon. The only thing that could beat him is a Loki with Rush, just so you know how fast he is. Meaning I have designed him to be the ultimate high-speed character. Now, I, of course, will have the highest amount of mods I can have on all of my weapons, because the Dread is such a bad weapon, I'm not going to lie, that it needs all of the mod help it can get. Now, what you may notice there is that my bow and arrow just literally exploded. That is the mod Thunderbolt, and if you can pick yourself up one, put it on your Dread, not on your Paris. It's one of the worst mods you can put on a Paris, because Paris pins people to walls and does enough damage on its own that it doesn't need help, but unlike the Paris, the Dread is a slashing weapon. Even though it may seem to pin, that's a mistake. It should not pin, it is a slashing weapon, and especially with the Paris's Pierce Through, using Thunderbolt on it stops it from piercing through and ends up becoming a waste. Now, of course, the Dread does pierce through, but as I've mentioned before, the Dread's damage may seem higher, but Paris comes pre-armor pierced, essentially meaning that the piercing damage, or whatever damage it needs, is too low and will not be able to compensate. I would probably recommend this against Infested, but even against Infested, I find that the Paris still does more damage. So the Dread I basically view as a subpar slashing version of the Paris. I mean, sure, if you like to see people cut in half, and get to see the nice bloody entrails of the enemies, if you're ridiculous like me, yeah, you'll get some joy out of the Dread, but honestly, pick up a Paris. It's a much better investment, just in terms of everything. And believe me when I say, you may think that extra few damage is nice, but it's not. Though I do appreciate that this Thunderbolt seems to be activating quite a lot. I think it just likes me, because I'm recording. My frame rate does not, but, you know. This changes the Paris from having, say, maybe a couple hundred to over 700 damage. An explosion will not always instantly kill, but against the enemies I'm with, wow, 4,228 damage. This update is really broken. I mean, I know I've emphasized that in one of my last videos, but when I release my update 11 video, I just want to say I'm sorry. This was at a time where nobody was comfortable with it, even people who'd been around it. So, there we go. That's better. So that's what I have to say about my old update video, is that, yeah, it's going to have a lot of bias to it. So with the Dread, I'm going to give it I'm going to be nice to it and give it a 6 out of 10, because it's really a subpar weapon. It's not there for me. It doesn't work. So now we're going to move on to the Despair. This is the one I mentioned in my previous stealth video. This one gets an easy 10 out of 10. I mean, I don't even have to think about it, especially when it comes to the mods, because even into level 30s, I used to take this against level 70s and 90s and be like, oh, okay. Because it would just absolutely destroy. A quick reload speed and able to run through a ton of ammo and a ton of enemies at the same time. This I would have no problem with shelling off against anything. So, holy crap, you can imagine how nice this would be for a Trickster class. Just, wow. Capture target, no chance. I felt like I held down the trigger for a second and he was dead. I just love using this weapon. So, 10 out of 10, no, I recommend it, even way above the kunai. If you can't see it here, it's way above the kunai. But anyway, the last weapon is the Hate. The Hate is your scythe. It is a beautiful weapon that's a bit like, I've compared it to the Fragor and the Skindo. It's pretty much the same as them, minus the Fragor having the armor piercing. It's pretty much the same. It's a really nice Stalker weapon that has a decent fire rate for what damage it does. And I think it's a very nice fitting version of the Skindo for those who don't like how big and clunky it looks. Plus it doesn't seem to reduce agility, as shown by the fact that my Ash is still zipping around. So if you want to have a nice weapon that's scythy, and although it doesn't have quite the same range, it does give you a little bit of your agility back. You can pick this up. It's a really nice weapon. I give it a I'd say a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'd say, let's compromise and say a 7.5. It does great damage, it's a nice weapon, and it sacrifices a little bit of reach for all of your stamina back, and, well, not having to consume as much when you're going through. Which is, although it may seem like a very hidden benefit or a minor benefit, when you're running around as a Warframe, it does really count. Every little bit makes things better. So with that said, that is it for my What Stalker review, and like I said, since it's on sale, what better time to review it, and I would recommend getting it from the Stalker himself rather than buying this whole kit, because if you really want to go there, there's only one weapon in that entire kit that's worth getting, which is obviously the Despair. While the Hate is nice, the Dread just kind of cheapens the value of the pack for me. And of course now the fact that it's at 400 and I bought it at full price for 800, yeah, I do kind of regret that. But, you know, hey, we got what we got and a bunch of people got it on sale. So if you can pick it up for 400 flat on the El Cheapo, go ahead and do it. And I'm going to stop recording before my frame rate crashes. So this is Eternally Prussian, and I'll see y'all later.